Now I call back to order the Pasco County Board of County Commission meeting of June 18th, 2024. Please silence all electronic devices and mute your microphones. This time it's time for public hearings, starting with ordinances. Item P39.
Okay, P39 was advertised in the Tampa Bay Times, April 17th, 2024.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman. Mactarios Pitos, Planning and Economic Growth. Item P39 is an ordinance about the invasive species management program to address invasive plants in Pasco County. This is being requested for a continuance to the August 21, 2024 Board of County Commissioners meeting in Newport Richey at 1:30 p.m.
August 21, 2024. Okay. So this is a continuance. Need a motion?
Move approval to continue to date.
August 21st.
Yes, sir.
I need a second.
I'll second.
Okay, I got a motion and a second for continuance to August 21st, 2024. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed. 3-0. Going to P40.
Okay. P40 was advertised in the Tampa Bay Times, December 20th, 2023.
Item
Okay.
P40 is an ordinance amending the Pasco County Comprehensive Plan from Res 3 and AG to PD Plan Development. This is the plan development with a sub-area policy to Flu 7112, known as Fletcher. This is a request for a continuance to the August 21, 2024 BCC meeting here in Newport Richey at 1:30 p.m.
August 21, 2024.
Yes.
Okay, I need a motion.
Move to continue August 21.
Okay, a second.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed 3-0. P41.
P41 was advertised in the Tampa Bay Times, February 21st, 2024.
Item P41 is an ordinance amending the Pasco County Comprehensive Plan, providing for text amendments to the future land use element pertaining to industrial compatibility adjacent to wetlands, commercial infill development, and commercial location limitations, providing for text amendments to the future land use element appendix sections Flu A4, calculations of residential densities, and Flu A6, the official land use map, providing for text amendments to the conservation element pertaining to industrial compatibility adjacent to wetlands, and providing for additional text amendments as necessary for internal consistency, providing for repeal or severability and an effective date. This comes to you with a recommendation of approval from the local planning agency, and we request that the board adopt the ordinance by roll call vote. And if a presentation is desired, we can make one.
Okay, is there a sheet up there for people to sign up? Because we haven't got one. Huh?
Right, we need
Nobody
it.
signed?
Oh, okay.
Okay, nobody signed up. That's what we need to know, okay? All right, is there anyone, does anybody wish to have, go through the whole list or
Fine.
a presentation? You okay? All right, is anyone in the audience wish to speak to this item? This is a public hearing. Seeing no one? Motion?
Move approval.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
It's a roll call vote, I think.
Oh,
Roll
roll
call
call.
vote, excuse me.
District 2, Commissioner Waitman.
Aye.
District 3, Commissioner Starkey.
Aye.
District 4, Commissioner Yeager.
Aye.
District 5, Commissioner Mariano. District 1, Chairman Oakley.
Aye, motion passed 4-0. P42.
P42 was advertised in the Tampa Bay Times, January 3rd and June 5th, 2024.
Item P42 is PEG 240115. This is an ordinance amending the Pasco County Comprehensive Plan, providing for text amendments to Chapter 2, Future Land Use Element, repealing Future Land Use Element Map Series 2-2, Coastal High Hazard Areas and Evacuation Routes, and replacing with Map 2-2, Coastal High Hazard Areas and Adaptation Action Areas. Text amendments to Chapter 4, Coastal Management Element, repealing Coastal Management Element Map 4-1, coastal area, coastal high hazard area, and providing for additional text amendments as necessary for internal consistency, providing for repeal or severability, and an effective date. This comes to you with a recommendation for approval and a request to adopt the ordinance by roll call vote. There is a presentation, if so desired.
Anybody wish for a presentation? See no one. It says a public hearing. There's no one signed up, but is there anybody on WebEx at all?
No, sir.
Nobody on WebEx? Does anyone in the audience wish to speak to this item? Seeing no one, no, you can't speak from there.
You come up here.
Come forward.
This is item 42.
Item 42. Did you want to speak?
The MSTU is item 45.
Okay. All right, since no one wants to speak, pleasure of the board.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion and second. All those in favor, roll call vote.
Yes, sir. District 2, Commissioner Waitman.
Aye.
District 3, Commissioner Starkey.
Aye.
District 4, Commissioner Yeager.
Aye.
District 5, Commissioner Mariano. District 1, Chairman Oakley.
Aye. Motion passed 4-0. Move to 43.
P43 was advertised in the Tampa Bay Times, April 17th, 2024, and by affidavit of certified mailings and site postings.
Item P43 is PEG 240098. This is an ordinance amending the Pasco County Comprehensive Plan, providing for a comprehensive plan amendment to the future land use map, map 2-15 and sheet 03, from IL Industrial Light to COM Commercial on approximately 4.82 acres of real property located on the north side of New York Avenue, approximately 0.3 mile east of Diagonal Road, and providing for additional text amendments as necessary for internal consistency, providing for repeal or severability and an effective date. This comes to you with a recommendation of approval and to adopt the ordinance by roll call vote.
Okay.
And there's a presentation if desired.
And no one signed up for it. Does anyone in the audience wish to speak to P43? This is a public hearing. Okay, seeing no one, pleasure of the board.
Move approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Roll
Call, excuse me.
Yes,
Roll
sir.
call vote.
District 2, Commissioner Waitman. District 3, Commissioner Starkey.
Aye.
District 4, Commissioner Yeager.
Aye.
District 5, Commissioner Mariano. District 1, Chairman Oakley.
Aye. Motion passed 4-0. Move to P44.
P44 was advertised in Tampa Bay Times, May 1st, 2024, and by affidavit of certified mailings and site postings.
Item P44 is PEG 240262. This is an ordinance amending the Pasco County Comprehensive Plan, providing for a comprehensive plan amendment to the future land use map, map 2-15 and sheet 12, from Res 3, residential 3 dwelling units per gross acre, to COM Commercial, OF Office, and CON Conservation on approximately 8.84 acres of real property located on the southern side of State Road 52, approximately 3,300 feet west of Land O'Lakes Boulevard, providing for additional text amendments as necessary for internal consistency, providing for repeal or severability and an effective date. This comes to you with a recommendation for approval from the local planning agency and request to adopt the ordinance by roll call vote.
This is a public hearing. Anyone on, no one signed up. Anyone on website?
No, sir.
Okay, no one on the web. Anyone in the audience wish to speak to P44? Seeing no one, pleasure of the board.
Move approval.
Got a motion?
Second.
Second.
And under discussion, I just want
Second
to
in discussion.
make sure that they are putting a sidewalk on their property.
This is a comprehensive plan amendment.
Yeah.
You
For the next one.
you deal that in your
Okay.
site planning.
Okay, just
Zoning, yeah.
make sure it's site planning, so I want to make sure.
Okay, by roll call vote.
District 2, Commissioner Waitman.
Aye.
District 3, Commissioner Starkey.
Aye.
District 4, Commissioner Yeager.
Aye.
District 5, Commissioner Mariano. District 1, Chairman Oakley.
Aye, motion passed 4-0. Now we come to P45.
Okay, P45 was advertised in Tampa Bay Times, May 22nd, 2024. This item was continued from June 4th to today.
Okay.
Good afternoon, Justin Grant, Public Infrastructure, Fiscal and Business Administration Director. PIFA 24-0326 is an ordinance creating a road rehabilitation services municipal taxing unit, providing for boundaries of the unit, providing for levy of ad valorem tax, providing for the municipal services to be funded, repealing and replacing Pasco County Ordinance 22-64 and Ordinance 23-35, providing for severability, providing for inclusion in the Pasco County Code of Ordinances, providing for limitations on actions, and providing for an effective date. The full presentation from our June 4th meeting is attached here. We'll go through the first couple slides. We've got 3 or 4 slides here added as a result of the board's continuance and direction that we received.
Okay.
So brief recap here on the timeline, right? Back in December 22, Ordinance 2264 started us down this journey and established the local road MSTU. Then in April of 2023, structural and legal changes delayed that implementation by a year due to some challenges. Then in September, Ordinance 2335 amended boundaries and provided for an appeals process with the structure that was outlined in that ordinance. And then ultimately in January, as we started to work to implement that, tax data revealed some additional implementation challenges, which has led us to the ordinance that is presented to you here today. So a quick comparison between those 2 ordinances. The current ordinance that is adopted focuses only on local roads. Multiple excluded classes created some challenges there, and we've discussed those at length in prior sessions. And this would also require the formation of an appellate board to deal with appeals with some of those excluded classes. So there in the blue, we've got the proposed ordinance, and in brief here, this applies uniformly to all unincorporated parcels. It expands the services to arterial and collector road types, and it removes most of those implementation challenges. So now we get to what happened last time on June 4th, right? On June 4th, we presented this ordinance, and ultimately the board voted to continue that item till today and directed staff to create an option that would retire the PVAS program and would eliminate billings imbalances. So I'll give a quick synopsis here of the financial impact if the board chooses to take those options. So you see the graph here. This is $8.5 million is presented here before you, which is 8.1 is composed of current principal and 400,000 is current interest. And so this waiver would also mean that we would cease collection efforts on these assessments that are current. The next set of actions that the board would have to take to implement this would also require the board to cease placing unbilled PVAS projects on future tax rolls. We have an item after this in this hearing that ultimately we would recommend be continued to the July hearing, and that would be composed of 16 projects totaling an estimated principal amount of about $4.5 million, and this would not be billed to residents. This is an annual process that every year when PVAS projects are completed, the team works to aggregate all those costs and then ultimately put them on the tax rolls pursuant to the entire PVAS process. Here in number 3, there's 3 PVAS projects that have an estimated $2.2 million in expenditures that were approved under the methodology. These have not yet, that horse has not yet left the barn, right? So we haven't issued NTPs, and so the recommendation here under this set of actions that would need to be done would be that we would pause that and shift that over to the MSTU. Finally, the board would need to direct staff to take the necessary steps to adopt an ordinance extinguishing current paving assessment debt. And in preparation for this item, staff is already working on something, should the board direct us to do it, to come back in the July hearing to provide the board with that ordinance that would provide them the authority to do this.
Right.
So I'll pause here because the rest of the presentation here is what was heard and presented at the last board meeting, and field questions if there are any.
Okay. Mr. Waitman?
Thank you, Chair. Justin, appreciate all your, and the whole team's work on this post last board meeting. So to confirm in layman's terms, this proposal that we're voting on today, we're going to forgive all existing PVAS payments owed to the county.
So the proposal today, and what we've worked very closely with the county attorney's office to draft, is to eliminate all current debt. And so we would stop assessing anything moving forward. So, so say someone was in a 10-year assessment, right, and they were in year 7, right, we would not pursue collection efforts on the remaining 3 years. And so I know one of the goals that was outlined by this commission was in consideration for this MSTU was the appearance of 2 items for like purposes, right, albeit different, on the same tax bill, right? This would eliminate that.
And then we would also, for those that paid in full upfront, would receive essentially a reimbursement.
We're outlining a process to do that, yes, sir.
Okay. Two good
The
points.
second thing.
And we would still have the ability to work with the CDDs and potentially some HOAs individually on a case-by-case basis to work through some of their potential concerns and challenges with
Mr.
roads
Chairman,
within
Mr.
this.
Steinstein?
If I can, we would not be working with HOAs. We could work with CDDs. The HOA's roads would be private, and so there's not, unless you were going to take their roads and make them public roads, which I don't think is in the cards, that wouldn't be a choice. But CDD's roads are quasi-public, public roads. We could, as I've discussed with the commissioner, we could enter into interlocal agreements to take collectors from them if that was the board's desire, because there are some CDDs that are maintaining what function as a county collector that are ungated that we could fund through this MSTU.
Okay. Thank you for clarification, County Attorney. That's it.
Okay. Anyone else? Any other questions?
I'm just glad we're here today.
This
You
is
know, we are one of the only counties in America who does it still this old-fashioned way, and it was not a good use of our staff's time and the public's time to go through that petition process, neighbor against neighbor, and to come up here and then do all that work and then have it fall apart. So I'm glad we're moving on to a better way to do this program.
Right, exactly. So this is a public hearing, so no one signed up for it, but I believe we have some people that would like to speak to P45. And if they will, they'll come line up behind the podium and to speak to P45. Anyone in the audience wish to speak to this item? And I can't be sure, but I think we've answered most of your questions, so. You gotta wait till you get here. So give me your name and address for the clerk.
My name's Angeline, middle initial.
Pull that mic down, right on the end, just turn it down. Okay,
Can you hear me?
that's good, yes, ma'am.
Okay, my name is Angeline, middle initial Z as in zebra, last name Figueroa, and I'm here to object to the paving assessment. I don't know what he mentioned, I didn't understand what he was talking about, I don't know if he was against it or for it.
Oh, we need
But-
your address, ma'am.
I'm sorry?
Address?
Oh, I'm sorry, it's 8822 Huntsman Lane, Port Richey, Florida, 34668. That's in the Bear Creek subdivision. I received a letter accepting taxes to pay for the paving assessment, and the amount was to collect from me, but that's if you guys
Okay,
accept it.
that's not this item, but
It's not for the
No.
paving assessment?
this
Collecting?
This ordinance is to do away with the paving assessment program.
Okay.
Which I assume we would be
Pardon
in
me.
support of.
My apologies.
But that's okay.
I
It's ju-
oppose it. I wrote a letter and I
Okay.
submitted it, and I had it notarized at the,
So your item,
yeah, I
let's
put a letter, yeah.
would be the addendum 91.
Yes.
But if you wish to go ahead and make your comments now, we can probably take them.
Well, so you received the letter. It was just basically, I'm disabled, I'm a senior citizen, okay? I live by myself at home. And I pay property taxes, which again, I oppose that as well, because we all know it's unconstitutional. And as I wrote on the letter, I am a disabled senior with limited income and do not own tangible assets, but had I, my financial strain could have been eased. Why is the Department of Public Works paving assessment program in times of hyperinflation, also economic crisis, want to enforce these costs on property taxes billed under your uniform tax collection method? Thus, compounding more hardship to lives of families with children and disabled seniors. Why not create positive, constructive solutions and not inflict the brink of destruction? Adding more misery, we pay for absolutely all in this world and feel the pressure as well as are awake to this corrupt governments. No disrespect to you, but we mean this to the corrupt governments. This is not freedom. I object to this unjust. We, the people, want to live a free, peaceful, and loving, caring, compassionate world. Please remember that graduated taxation is unconstitutional. I digress. Respectfully, Angeline Z. Figueroa.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Yes, ma'am.
You said love. Thank you.
Is anyone else in the room wish to speak to this item? Seeing no one, pleasure of the board.
Oh, my goodness. Move to approve.
Okay, got a motion?
Second.
A second?
Roll
Is this
call
by
vote.
roll call?
Roll call vote.
Roll call vote.
It's a biggie.
All right, District 2, Commissioner Waitman.
Aye.
District 3, Commissioner Starkey.
Aye.
District 4, Commissioner Yeager.
Aye.
District 5, Commissioner Mariano. District
Hallelujah.
District 1, Chairman Oakley.
Aye. Motion passed 4-0. Great.
A lot of people will be happy with that.
That's a milestone in this country of
Yeah,
Pasco
in
County.
this county, yeah.
You will have another ordinance you'll need to vote on in your July meeting to
Right,
complete,
there's another
to
one to
complete this
complete,
process.
to
yes.
complete this. Right. But now we'll start. Can, Mr. Steinsteiner, will you go over the procedures?
Be happy to, Mr. Chairman. There are two rezoning agendas, regular and consent. Staff will present each application to the Board of County Commissioners. If staff or Planning Commission has recommended approval and there's no opposition, the application will be considered by the board without further presentation. If staff or Planning Commission has recommended denial, or if there is opposition to the application, the applicant will be given 5 minutes for presentation. The opposition will be given 3 minutes for each individual or 5 minutes for a group representative, and the applicant will be given 3 minutes for rebuttal. Any individual disagreeing with staff or Planning Commission recommendation or anyone wishing to object to any condition of the rezoning may at this time request that the petition be pulled from the consent agenda, in which case that application will be heard under the regular agenda later on during the meeting. Otherwise, all rezoning applications on the consent agenda will be approved by a single motion and vote. If you wish to speak to any petition, please give your name and address and whether or not you've been sworn for the record. These are quasi-judicial public hearings. The law in Florida is that mere public support or opposition of an application is insufficient for this board to take action. Please limit your comments to those criteria found within the board's land development code. Madam Clerk, would you like to swear the public in?
Yes, sir. All right, if you plan to speak on any of these items, please stand and raise your right hand. No one. I do not think she's speaking. Okay. Do we need to do it?
Well,
I don't see anybody.
we'll wait until, until they come up.
Okay,
Thanks.
we'll be sure if they'll speak to it. Okay. The first item, I guess, is P46.
Yes, sir. P46 was advertised in Tampa Bay Times, May 1st, 2024.
Good afternoon, Denise Hernandez, Planning and Economic Growth Department. Item P46 is PEG 247739. It's a zoning amendment, Fletcher MPUD, Mary L. Fletcher Revocable Trust, and Richard D. Fletcher. The request is a staff requested continuance to the August 21st, 2024 Board of County Commissioners meeting at 1:30 in Newport Richey.
Okay, this is a public hearing.
It's a continuance item.
Continuance, so I need a motion
I
continue.
move to continue.
Second.
What's the date?
August 21st, 2024, 1:30 Newport Richey.
Okay. So I've got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed 4-0. Move on to P47.
P47 was advertised in Tampa Bay Times, May 1st, 2024.
P47 is PEG 247783. It's a zoning amendment in the names of Dejan and Gordana Vujanovic. And the request is to continue the item to the August 21st, 2024 Board of County Commissioners meeting at 1:30 in Newport Richey.
Move to continue.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to continue. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed 4-0. P48.
P48 was advertised in the Tampa Bay Times, May 1st, 2024, and by affidavit of certified mailings and site postings.
P48 is PEG 247784. It's a zoning amendment in the names of William J. and Brent A. Norwood, Norwood Irrevocable Trust, and Norwood Workshop LLC. It's for a change in zoning from an R1MH, Single Family Mobile Home District, and C2 General Commercial District, with conditions to a C2 General Commercial District, with a deed restriction reserving the uses for commercial uses, also known as a Live Local Act deed restriction. Comes to you with a recommendation from the Planning and Economic Growth and the Planning Commission of approval.
Okay. All right, this is our first consent item.
Which number is this?
This is item P48.
48.
48.
P48. First consent item. Anyone here in the audience wish to speak against this item? Seeing no one, leave it on consent. Move to P49.
P49 was advertised in the Tampa Bay Times, May 1st, 2024, and by affidavit of certified mailings and site postings.
P49 is PEG 247786. It's a zoning amendment in the names of Wilson Jader and Matthew Hernandez for a change in zoning from an MPUD, Master Plan Unit Development District, to an AR, Agricultural Residential District. Comes to you with a recommendation of approval from the Planning and Economic Growth Department and the Planning Commission.
Okay. Is anyone here to speak to this item? P49. Seeing no one, leave it on consent. Move on to P50.
P50 was advertised in the Tampa Bay Times, April 17th, 2024, and by affidavit of certified mailings and site postings.
Item P50 is PEG 247788, zoning amendment in the name of Tocas LLC. It's for a change in zoning from a C2 General Commercial District to an AR Agricultural Residential District. Comes to you with a recommendation of approval from the Planning and Economic Growth Department and the Planning Commission.
Okay. Is anyone here to speak against this item? Seeing no one, do we have another item or two?
An addendum, but it's a continuance.
That ends your consent agenda, I believe.
Yeah,
This one here?
Yep.
agreed.
Okay. So I'll entertain a motion on the consent items, which are
Move to approve?
Second.
P48, P49, and P50.
Second.
I got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed, 4-0. Okay?
Your last public hearing item is AP 91, which is the resolution establishing special assessment liens, and staff is requesting a continuance to your July meeting, which is, what day? Oh,
Okay. Now we're going to hear it.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. I'm Jason Mickle, Public Works Director. The item we have here is a request for continuance, resolution of Pasco County, Florida, establishing special assessment liens for certain paving assessment projects. Bear Creek, PVAS number 3197. Holiday Drive, Bonita Road to Lang Road, PVAS number 3481. Michelle Avenue, PVAS number 3469. Palm Lake, PVAS number 3406. Seaford Drive, PVAS number 3461. Siegel Drive, PVAS number 3471. Sunfish Drive, PVAS number 3476. Windtree Boulevard, PVAS number 345. Authorizing and providing for the collection of special assessment for each of the named projects by the tax collector in accordance with the uniform method for the levy, collection, and enforcement of non-ad valorem assessment pursuant to Section 197.3632 Florida statutes, and providing for an effective date. And again, that's recommended for continuance.
Before you
Yeah,
say
we
that,
need
this
to
was
take-
advertised in the Tampa Bay Times, May 22nd, 2024.
Okay.
and the motion is continue to the July 9th, 2024 Board of County Commissioners meeting at 1:30
1:30.
or soon thereafter, as same may be heard in Dade City.
Yep. Okay.
Accept my motion as county attorney's statement.
And I'll second that.
And that is to move it to July 9th, if I'm not mistaken.
That is correct.
2024. Okay. I got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed 4-0. That ends our public hearing. Now we move back to ordinary business, and we left off with Ms. Starkey,
Yes.
who's going to finish in a couple minutes.
I am. So on that landscaping program, I just want you to know, so far we've logged in, I think these are kind of old numbers, actually. These are from June, so they've continued on. We have a month more, but 145 total cases, 67 are in compliance, 39 are have received a citation. 15 of those are working to come into compliance with the county attorney's office. 21 were closed administratively, 9 are currently in warning status, and 9 are pending on receiving plans. And I think some of those ones that were closed have to be opened back up because they were in error on not citing businesses who are cutting trees into little lollipops and little pyramids, because they're supposed to be trees, not little pyramids. So they've got to go back to those. Also, we made it really easy for the businesses. We said if you can't find your site plan, and you can, instead of using the original landscape plan, you can just use the current one, which I think we've improved upon. So that makes it easy for them. And also, we have landscaping grants available that are matching grants. So I want to put that out there to industry and to businesses that we are here to help you. Along that line, I've been meeting with people in the sign industry, and when you have a strip center, say, and it's an old strip center, and we actually had this at the Holiday Mall at Moog and 19 that Mark Gold bought. If you have a non-conforming sign and you have a tenant who wants to put a new wall sign on the building, they cannot put a sign up until they've taken down their non-conforming sign. We want to make that a little easier for businesses. I still believe in that rule. We've gotten a lot of signs down, but it does make a bit of a hardship for some of the businesses that have moved in and are reliant on the property owner to get that done in a timely fashion. So this is language from the county attorney's office from my meeting with them and people in the sign business yesterday. We want to request staff to consider making an amendment to the non-conforming sign provisions to allow signs on site while the non-conforming sign is being taken down. So if there is a plan to take the old non-conforming sign down, we want to, and they've signed an agreement that it will be coming down, we want to let the businesses go ahead and get their wall sign. So it's very pro-business, so I figured you guys would be okay with that. I also want
That's to bring back an amendment to the ordinance. to
Yeah,
do
they'll
that.
bring it back under one of those glitch deals.
Yeah.
I also want to publicize that we do also, through our Economic Development Office, have money available for companies who want or need help in changing those signs out that are on the street. So there are grants available, because we want to encourage that cleanup, and so people may not know that. We're in the process of making a brochure so that the companies know what resources are available to them.
Would you be opposed if we're going to kind of run a quote-unquote glitch bill on signs, could we do that with fences? Particularly around with chain link in the industrial properties that we've run in challenges with, kind of run those parallel with each other.
What's the problem?
Kabbalah, help me articulate this.
I think the issue is some industrial folks have complained that ornamental fences aren't exactly pragmatic to their business,
And
and that
costly.
things like chain link provide added security, stability, and things like that for certain types of businesses.
Well, chain link doesn't provide any security. You climb right over that.
It's
So,
visual and it's sturdier, doesn't blow in a rainstorm, and it's less of an expense on the business. When we changed the rules, there's several businesses, and our office was contacted, and we've run them through our bureaucracy on trying to figure out a way to fix it. And the fences were there before, they were on the property, but because the business changed use, those businesses got hemmed up in our new rules, and they had to go through pre-app site plan, they had to hire land use attorneys. And the cases that came to us, chain link made perfect sense instead of white PVC or vinyl fence. And it was one of these issues where the one size fits all captured certain businesses where that type of safety product, if you will, just didn't make sense. And you bring this up kind of brings back an opportunity, if you'd be amenable to it, to open it back up and have staff take a look to try to be more flexible with our fence rules there, if we
So,
can run them together.
okay, how about if it's, if there's a special exception, so it's not everybody, that it's coded and it doesn't have barbed wire on it? Because we don't want
Yeah,
our.
barbed wire is not, wasn't the, was not the concern. They were wanting the higher fence so they could see in, potentially have the fence, like they weren't necessarily even opposed to the landscape.
No,
It
they
was
have
the-
to have landscape.
It was the quality of the fencing to protect what they have inside of there, and then in a windstorm, it doesn't blow away. It could keep, I mean, these are work sites, keep
Are you talking about
whatever
paw?
blowing away. No,
Okay.
no, there's
Um,
several.
I guess I'd be okay if they came in and asked, because I don't want it just blanket.
No, it would be surgical, kind of like what
Yeah.
you're doing here with
And
your
it
signs.
it would need to be coded, and maybe, you know, make sure we have very good landscaping. So this is only on collector, arterial, and important roads in the county. It's not on every road. We're just trying to get away from barbed wire and chain link on our main assets, so.
So we'd need them in the motion to run these kind of glitch bill scenarios in tandem?
Yeah, well,
Or-
one is the LDC and one is,
We normally run glitches together anyway.
Right.
It's a package. If the board's direction is to deal with that previous amendment to fences and refine it a little more for certain businesses, I think staff can do that.
so,
Speaking for my team, more than Denise, but I don't think that that's a problem.
Denise here. But Carvalho, you're familiar with the cases I've sent, we've talked about, right?
are they
Yeah.
large parcels? Is that why they're objecting to the vertical metal fence?
I missed that last part, Commissioner, I'm sorry.
Are they like larger parcels? Because
They
for
tend to
small
be
parcels.
larger industrial-type users. I mean, what you're suggesting is a special exception, and maybe we can work and craft
Seems like that-
language that would provide relief to a certain segment.
Yeah.
Because currently, we don't have the flexibility whatsoever, and there's mounting penalties from code enforcement and et cetera, and it's, to me, it's a bit much.
Just, you know, I'm looking, I drive by that site on Rowan, you might know it, Rowan and Perrine Ranch Road, all the time. Chain link, barbed wire, and now they, you know, it's supposed to be a visual barrier, so they've got that green fabric on it that should never have been in that place at the first place, but it's at the entrance to Nature's Hideaway. And it's very, very inappropriate to be out in front of a neighborhood on a major collector like that. So I'm just, would be selective. Certainly no barbed wire, but I'll give in to the coated and maybe some kind of extra landscaping
Yeah,
on larger parcels.
yeah, the sites that I'm referencing, these businesses, the fencing has been there for probably a decade or more.
Well, then it's already there.
Because it was a change in use, they've been put through the fencing ringer. It's been a learning experience, so I figure it's a good.
Is it on 41? Okay, because, gosh, I hope we get that road cleaned up before, while we're trying to woo international companies.
So I'll second Commissioner Starkey's amended motion. I guess you have to amend your motion to add
So
fences
I
into the
will,
glitch bill.
What's the motion now?
bring back, well, we'll see it in the glitch bill. Will you brief us before, the language before? How does that work? I mean, what should the motion be? I don't know if it's a motion. I think it's just board direction, actually.
I think we'd like a motion, basically, that staff, that the board is authorizing staff to proceed with adding fencing and the limited issue on fencing and the limited issue on signs, as the commissioners have described, to the next round of glitch bills.
That's
Second.
LTDC.
Thank you, Commissioner Storkey.
Motion second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion passed 4-0.
Denise is in.
We're done.
Are you done?
Did you need us? Did we do okay?
I was talking to a customer, so if you told me what we were talking about, that would be great.
Well, we just added a little work for you.
Oh, no problem.
On signs, a little glitch on the signs and a little glitch on fencing.
I'm completely familiar with the glitch on the signs. What is the glitch on fencing?
We're gonna,
The most recent amendment to fencing.
Oh, no
that-
chain link?
That no chain
Collectors
link.
and arterials?
That there are certain exceptions that,
Okay.
for,
with conditions,
yeah.
coated, extra landscaping, and not a big parcel.
Got it, okay.
Where'd you go?
Wow, we're whipping through this meeting today.
Okay. Are you done?
I think so. I reserve my
You
right
think
to
so?
remember. I reserve my right to remember
No,
something.
no more right. All right. Ms. Yeager?
Let's see. Well, exciting things in District 4. We went to the sunrise breakfast. Oh, never mind. Let's see. We went to the Magnolia Oaks Veterans groundbreaking. So that was exciting. Commissioner Oakley and Commissioner Waitman were with me. So that's very exciting. That's going in right down the street. And then we went to the ribbon cutting for the Metropolitan Ministries daycare. Commissioner Starkey mentioned that, and Commissioner Waitman. And Commissioner Oakley, you were there too, right?
Which one was it?
No, he wasn't.
No,
at
he
this
wasn't
one.
there.
No, I
Okay.
wasn't at that one, no.
Yeah.
So I was very excited. I asked if any way we could help with the daycare. And we also attended the sunrise breakfast for domestic violence. And that was what's happening in District 4.
Okay. Jack's not here. We'll go to Mr. Kabala.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just a couple of quick items here. I've spoken to board members about some of the opioid task force dollars and making some allocations to some of our public safety needs of that. And so my team has worked with the county attorney's office, and I'd like the board to adopt this motion, if possible, to allocate some of the monies off of the top to use for our public safety needs. So I will read this since it was crafted for me here. Motion would be to recommend that the opioid task force allocate $750,000 per year of the opioid settlement funds for years 2, 3, and 4 for public safety needs as determined by the Board of County Commissioners related to opioid use disorder, substance abuse disorder, and co-occurring mental health conditions consistent with the uses specifically authorized under the Community Abatement Plan and the Florida Opioid Allocation and Statewide Response Agreement.
Did you need a motion? I'll make that motion.
Okay, I got a motion
I'll second.
and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed 4-0.
Thank you. The other item I have is actually a bit of a urgent matter with respect to a fire alarm system at the West Pasco Judicial Center. So subject to county attorney review of the task order, I'd like to have the board delegate the authority to me to award a contract or task order in the amount not to exceed $300,000 to replace the fire alarm system at the West Pasco Judicial Center. Facilities does have the funding to replace the system in their working capital budget, and is working with a vendor on a cooperative contract to have a replacement quote. But we really want to make sure that we don't end up with fire watch or any other items out there at the West Pasco Judicial Center.
Okay.
How does a fire alarm system go bad?
I'll let Mr. Breitenbach answer that.
Can I say, I went through that security system the other day. That's a pretty crazy security system over there. It's worse than the airport.
Your key card lets you in all sorts of doors,
Oh, thank you.
just
everybody?
FYI.
I remember that.
He needs a motion on that, but I think he wants his question answered first.
Okay.
The typical component failures that occur are circuit boards will overheat and go bad, and there are also sensing devices will fail over time. And this particular system is so old, the team cannot find replacement parts to repair it.
Makes sense. All right, move approval.
Second.
Motion second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed 4-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. And the other thing I wanted to mention is, actually, it's been a couple meetings. I wanted to hit this in time with graduation, but we've had some truncated comment time. But Pasco County Board of County Commissioners has participated in the Big Brothers Big Sisters of Tampa Bay School to Work program for the past 2 years. And so a lot of these, really the idea behind this program is that a lot of young folks leave high school without really having a clear plan, whether that's college, whether it's going into vocational studies or schools. And so what the School to Work program does is it takes students and gives them exposure to workplace environment, and so matches them with mentors who can encourage them to reach their full potential. And so it basically helps them, prepare for life. And so we were, I think, Joanna, we were the first agency here in Pasco County to embrace this program. So it's a little bit beyond your the Big Brothers Big Sisters program where you adopt a little throughout different types of youth. But this partnership was fantastic. So I started in it actually. My little Jacob is actually graduating, and I think actually maybe pursuing a career in public safety, JJ, if I'm not mistaken, as a result of this. But we had many folks, and we exposed them to county government. And a lot of the things that we do for our community. So it was actually a huge success. I think we're going to try to do it again. My thanks to the volunteers within the county. These are all busy folks that volunteered to work and assist these folks as they moved on. So I don't know, Joanna, did I miss anything with regards to the program? I don't know if we have any bigs here that are Paula, right? So
Is that the jaws of life right there?
Yeah, they're battery powered now.
Wow.
Yeah, those are very heavy.
That's a wicked
Okay,
looking.
that it?
I think that's it for now, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, I remembered mine.
What? I got one right here.
Well, I can go before or after.
You'll have to wait.
What's your pleasure?
You have to wait.
All right.
Ms. Steinsteiner?
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, last night I sent you out a notice that canceled the litigation assessment meeting for today, and it also had attached to it a settlement agreement that was reached in the matter of Nikki Alvarez-Souls, clerk and comptroller versus Pasco County, the budget dispute litigation. Both outside counsel and I have reviewed it. We believe that it is in the best interest of the county to execute it, and so I would like a motion to have the chair, board authorize the settlement agreement and authorize the chair to sign it.
Move approval.
Second.
All right. Got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed 4-0.
And I, based on the, your board's adoption of item 45, the MSTU ordinance, I would be remiss if I didn't reach out and thank Mr. Goldstein and Ms. Wolfgram for all of their work and late nights in trying to come up with the board's direction at the last meeting and revising the ordinance to be presented to you today. That's all I have. Thank you.
That's everything? All right. Good.
I don't have anything except a proud parent moment because there's maybe some alumni of Boys State in here, but my son was just elected city clerk of Williamsburg at Boys State and is running for the House of Representatives. So
Oh,
he's up there this week in Tallahassee, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, great. My son did.
That's
Very
all I
good.
have.
That's great.
Let me see, I have a few items. Most of them been covered. Where's my paperwork here? One item, we, of course, Magnolia Oaks was a great outing yesterday morning. I told them it was great and a real warm feeling for an East Pasco, Dade City born resident to come over and be met in the morning at Magnolia Oaks for housing for veterans, with the fact that all the WREC people in their trucks and their American flags were all sitting there waiting as we were coming in. So it was very remarkable for me and a very warm gathering. Once I saw that, I felt like I was right in Dade City because the presence of WREC is so much in the East Pasco County. So, but it was a great thing that day. That's a milestone for Pasco Housing Authority to be building houses for veterans, affordable housing for veterans. Then I went, the week before, I went to the 50th anniversary celebration of Area Agency on Aging. That was held on June 7th, and it was at, what was this? The Hell Senior Activity Centers where it was held. So, but very, very good program, very good. Oh, you can see some pictures. Gus was there, of course, and but they do a great job for our seniors, and we need to be very thankful for the opportunity to work and help as many seniors did. I think they came up with a number since they've been in existence in the 50 years, 1,007,000 seniors that we've helped in Pasco County and Pine Island County. So it was great for that agency. Okay, and that's it.
Nope, me.
That's it for me.
I'm back. This
I
concerns
didn't think you
Representative
left.
Yeager.
All right, go ahead.
So sadly, the governor vetoed the project that wasn't even in Representative Yeager's district. It was in Representative Steele's district, but it's Riverside Village. There are, I think, about 50 homes who, when it rains, their sidewalks turn brown and their streets from the failed septic system that can't be fixed. So it is the FGUA territory, and they've been trying for 2 years to get an appropriation to help fix it, but we need to do something. And Representative Yeager and his staff found a grant that we can apply for, so he pinged me again this morning to make sure that we are on top of that grant because it closes very quickly. But he called up to, because when the governor vetoed that appropriation, he said there's $500 million set aside for projects like that. And he wanted, and so we dug into it, and you told me we were on it, so I told him we were on it, and we were gonna get that application in, right? So just making sure we're on top of that. Also, the county administrator and I met with Brian, what's his name from Swiftman? Armstrong. Brian Armstrong, out at Starkey Ranch to talk about a couple of issues. I want to make sure that's moving forward, getting that gate and that easement back into good public use and what's happening with that gate and easement now. And also that piece of property that's out there at the preserve that we talked about with him and with you. I haven't seen anything on it yet. Then I've been asked by one of the land use attorneys if there's been movement on that. And lastly, and then bridge over the Anklet River that connects the northern part of the Wilderness Park to the southern part of the Wilderness Park. And I wanted to remind my fellow board members and staff that NACO is in Tampa this summer. And July like 13th to the 16th or something like that at the Marriott. So this is a very great opportunity for our county and staff to partake of all the wonderful things that you can learn about and participate in at NACO.
Is
in
Ralph?
Tampa.
Ralph here? Ralph, are you bird dogging that event? Is that on your last, send out an itinerary maybe to everybody? Something like that, whoever, Corbala or
My
Joanna,
staff has it
somebody.
if you want to see it.
We can get it on the calendar.
Yeah. I mean, it's right here, so.
And Commissioner Starkey, I also talked to Mike about that same neighborhood the other day as well.
The Riverside Village?
Yep.
Yeah. So I sure hope we can find a way to help them.
Good. Well, you brought it up about Brian Armstrong and Swiftmud. I would like to say that I'm going to call them, and at times they are very helpful in getting some projects and issues taken care of. And just lately had an issue with some mitigation area, and they got it settled. So the company in behind One Pasco Center project will move forward and be a big part in Pasco County right there in 75 and at the northeast corner of 75 and 52. So, and that's on the move. So they're
Northeast
putting their
or southeast?
northeast. It's a different project right behind One Pasco Center.
The other project that we need to be working on with Swiftmud is the ability to put a sidewalk or trail through Connor Preserve with 52, with that sidewalk. By the way, we were successful in getting DOT to widen and heighten the critter crossing that's near the Connor Preserve, so that we could now have a bike trail going under 52, the new part of 52, instead of trying to go over 52. So we'll have, because there are plans in the county to have a trail go from, I think that's your district. Who has Shady Hills and 4G Ranch?
That's
Who
Jack.
has 4G Ranch?
That's Jack.
Jackson?
Ronnie has.
Well, 4G is mine, but
Okay, so,
the other side of the west side of 41 is Jack's.
North
well,
of
this is
50.
Mine's
on,
all
this is
east
on the
side.
east side of 41.
Okay, what's mine?
Yeah.
Is it on the southeast side? That's my side.
Well, it's Connor Preserve, all the way up to Crossbar Now Bar.
That's Ronnie.
That's where the trail's gonna go.
Cherry.
Yeah.
Okay, both of
That's
you. So
mine.
there will be a wonderful multi-use trail going up that route.
Which one?
And now we're gonna be able to go right under 52 instead of trying to go over it with a pedestrian bridge or something. Is everything okay? Oh. At the MPO meeting, we did bring up the, saying this for the ACAs, not just
She's here.
for all of you, because you were there. You know, they kind of moved 54 and 41 out, and that, like 3 or 4 more years, and we were not happy about that.
Linda Hart?
So, I had talked to Senator Hooper about this issue, and he said, you put it in the 5-year work plan, I will find the money. So, so they said that the design part of it is in the 5-year work plan, not much more, but we're gonna work real hard to help get that money to accelerate the 54, 41 overpass, because we can't wait till the middle of 2035 for them to start building that thing,
Okay.
so.
Is Linda Hart in the audience? Amanda, excuse me, Amanda, come forward, Amanda.
What else happened?
I misunderstood what you were telling me, so I got hearing aids and they don't work and I can't hear. So,
Thank you, Chair. My name is Amanda Hart. It's 12438 Citation Road in Spring Hill, Florida. I've met with many of you over the past 13 years. My company, Blackjack Media Group, has the current contract for transit advertising for Pasco County. And I had a meeting with purchasing this morning, and it was shared with me that they are not going to be renewing the transit advertising contract. And There's a problem as far as I see it because we have current advertisers that are advertising on the buses. And in my current contract, it states that if, let's just say the RFP were to go out as scheduled, that if a new company came on, they would inherit those advertisers. So I was informed about an hour and a half ago that I am to remove all of the advertisements off of the buses and that all the current contracts, even though my contract currently states that this would continue to go on, that I'm supposed to remove every advertiser off of those buses. Right now, we're netting approximately 100. I write the county a check for approximately $17,000 every month, and my contract's for 5 years. So it's about $1 million project. And I asked purchasing who made this decision today, and they told me that staff did.
Okay. Yeah, take it up with staff, because, I mean,
So I am here
Yeah, no,
to
emotional.
speak to the board to ask for a 6-month extension to my contract until we can figure out how this is going to go for my current advertisers. These current advertisers are small businesses within Pasco County that I have contracts with. It's a reflection of not my company, but also the county.
well, that's something you'll have to take up with that staff, so, and then they'll go through the right channels.
But-
Mr. Cabral?
Yes, Mr. Chair, thank you. Commissioner Mariano did express an interest of joining in on the meeting. I think he had an opinion. I think we sent him a WebEx link. Is he? No, not yet.
Okay.
This has kind of come to my attention here very, very recently. Again, it's my understanding that it's a 5-year contract, right? And so like all contracts, the board votes on them. They end. Some contracts we renew through RFPs. Other contracts we don't for operational decisions. I will say, and I would defer to Kathy Pearson or Nina if they're around, but, I mean, I'm looking at the business case for it. Again, I don't know what was in your contract or what was put forward, but, I mean, the contract as a whole is essentially meeting only the minimum guarantee. It is falling short nearly 60% of what the revenue projections were when the county entered into this contract. It's my understanding that staff are actually looking at other revenue generating opportunities, more modern type revenue opportunities, perhaps looking at, I would say in-flight service or those types of things. They had some branding concerns as well since we rebranded as Go Pasco to provide more awareness to the Go Pasco brand versus making them mobile ads. Again, it's an operational business decision. I'm looking to the department heads to, make up that revenue through other means. But, if I look at it, it's been a 5-year run contract. It looks like it was anticipated to generate, just my rough numbers, $2.5 million. So making $1 million over 5 years still falls short of what the revenue expectations would be for the contract. That's what I have here in front of me.
Okay.
I have not had an opportunity to sit down and delve into this deeper or have a conversation with Ms. Hart, but I'll defer to whatever the board
Have
wants.
to go back through the staff.
Chairman?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Carl, I had she's not here. Our procurement head, Carrie. Ms. Hart shared her concerns about her existing contract with me, and she stated that the RFP, I wish she was here, she's in the building, was to not be renewed because of some potential decisions or opinion coming out of the state legislature. Okay? And it was a concern. There was nothing statutorily that was passed. And so that was really the mechanism that's led to, I think, to this point today. So I ask that you get with her and discuss whatever that means before we just axe a contract from a long-time contract from a good business here in the county.
Well, I mean, we can't,
We're not.
I'm not
we'll let
prepared
that-
to talk about this at all. I mean, I have no,
No.
So we can't,
This
I don't
just
know how we
happened, so
take
we
action
can't-
here.
We
So
can't talk about it this time.
I'm sorry, sir. Kathy, when does or Ms. Hart, you probably know as well, when does the contract
So
expire?
the contract does expire June 30th, and the reason that I brought it to the board today, and I understand if staff wants to go in a different direction, I'm 100% and will embrace that. My concern is with the advertisers, because I wasn't made aware of it before the end of my contract. I'm more concerned about the advertisers, such as Advent Health, and the large advertisers that we have on the buses, is to make sure that we live up to our end of the contract, because I wasn't given any notification that this was going to end, which is fine. Again, if the staff wants to go in a different direction, I, again, will embrace that. But I'm concerned in regards to the advertisers within our county. These are small businesses that have made sacrifices in order to advertise on these buses.
With all due respect, your contract said that it was a cumulative 5-year deal, and then it was over.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir,
So
Mr. County
if
Attorney.
If you entered into contracts that extended beyond that time, that's on you.
No, sir. According to my contract, it states that I can write contracts up until the day.
Contract says if you're terminated for convenience, the new vendor would have to pick up. This contract is going to expire.
That is correct.
That's
June
not
3rd.
termination for convenience. You're relying on a provision that doesn't apply.
I think it's based upon however you see it as well. How we've been doing transit advertising in Pasco County for over 15 years, and the contract is written that if another company were to take on this RFP, they would take on the active contracts. And nowhere states in my current contract that I am no longer allowed to write contracts for transit advertising.
No, that's your business decision and your liability.
That's not how it was explained to me, and that's not how it's been done. That's not industry standard either.
All right.
Thank you.
So that's the thing. Thank you. Anything else to add here? Anything else, Mr. Cabral?
No, sir.
For the good of everyone, thank the staff for everything they do. Always want to remember that, in this team, it's no I, there's teamwork all the way around. So every department is at the top. So we certainly appreciate everything all their employees do. Thank you. With that, we adjourn.
Vice Emergency Management.